Hello, this is Michael, and I'm going to go over a little bit of the genealogy of the family that I found on Family Search, which is an LDS website. And I'm just going to follow one line. I kind of mapped this out a little bit ahead of time, but it's going to be a little bit choppy, and you're going to see a bunch of names here. I'm not going to click on anything. I kind of have it opened up. But this goes pretty far back, and the accuracy it's pretty specious, possibly. I don't know. I added all that I knew that was absolutely accurate, and then you get to a point when you get far enough back where other folks have put things in, and those lines go on, and then you actually get to a point where there's enough notoriety of the people that there probably is some accuracy, just given the names that are here. But nevertheless, I can't vouch that this is 100% correct. But we'll start here, myself and my lovely wife, and my mom and dad, Chris and Melissa. And we're going to go along my mom's bloodline. So this will be Barbie and Elmo. And we're going to stay with Barbie. Barbie's mom and dad were right here, Stanley Burgess and Rosamond Walker. And we're going to go on her dad's line. And Stanley's dad was Alvaro Burgess, married to Emma Grace Carr. And then Alvaro's dad was William Washington Burgess, and that's married to Sarah Theodora Grist. And we're going to follow the Grist line here, and we've got Sarah's dad and mom, Thomas Lathrop Grist and Polly Osborne. And so with that, we've got a little name change, John Grift, but Delight Lathrop was his wife. And from there, we've got Jabez Lathrop, married to Delight Grist. Now, Jabez and Delight were parents of Jabez and Delight were Israel Lathrop and Rebecca Bliss. And Israel and Rebecca's parents, Israel's parents were Samuel and Elizabeth Scudder. That's mom and dad to Israel. Okay, so then we're going to follow along the Scudder line. So Elizabeth Scudder's dad and mom were John Scudder and Elizabeth Stoughton. And you may have noticed that this is the first line back in England because we are in America here in the early 1600s, which is kind of far back. So we were original people here in Plymouth, Massachusetts with this line here. So we're going to stay right here and move a little bit farther back. So we're with John Scudder and Elizabeth. And we're going to stay with Elizabeth and her mom and dad, Reverend Thomas Stoughton and Catherine Evelyn Montpesson. And with the Stoughtons, we go up here, and we've got Frances Stoughton and Agnes. That was mom and dad to the Reverend. And then from Frances, we're going to go all the way up here to Edward Stoughton. That would be Frances's dad, Edward, and his wife, Mary. And then we're going to move over here to Thomas Stoughton and wife, Margaret Plantagenet, maybe a French name. So we're going to follow along this one right here. And then from Margaret, we go to Joan. So Henry and Joan Clitero. So actually that would be Thomas's mom and dad. Right, Thomas's mom and dad. So then we've got Joan, and they had parents of the wife. I guess this would be the parents of, the parents of Joan were Matilda and Roger. Roger and Matilda Oldcastle. Old Lady Oldcastle. So we're going to go here. Now we get to the royal lines because Matilda's dad was Sir John Oldcastle. I guess he was a knight. And Catherine Richard ap Jobbin, whatever kind of name that is. And so following the Oldcastle line, we get to John's dad, Sir Richard Oldcastle, and Lady Alice Pembridge. And so moving along, we're going to go to Robert. So this would be Lady Alice's mom and dad, Knight Robert Pembridge and Juliana Lazouche. Juliana and Knight Robert were husband and wife. And they were the parents of Lady Alice. And so then moving on from there, we're going to go to Sir Eon, we'll just call him Eon, and Lady Joan. And Lady Joan had Okay, Lady Jones' husband, Eon. Eon had a mom and dad, as if everybody else does, and mom and dad William and Maud back in the 1200s. And William and Maud, let's see, William's mom and dad were Eon Lazouche. There's a Lazouche name again here, and Millicent. Millicent was the mom to William Mortimer Lazouche. So that is great. And then we're going to move over here to Baron. So this would be Eon's dad, Baron Allen, and Lady Margaret was his mom. And then from Allen, we go to Roger Lazouche. So the Lazouche name is in the family line. So Roger, and then we go to Lord Ashby Allen Lazouche. That would be mom and dad, married to Alice. So, but we're actually not going to follow that line. We're going to follow this line. Yeah, Henry. So this would be Margaret's mom and dad, Henry Blist and Albert Clavering. Okay, and moving along, then we have Alice and Monsieur. I guess this would be the Henry's mom and dad, is Alice and Monsieur. And then we go to the father and mother of Monsieur, and that would be Sir William Bissett of England, and Howise. All right. And actually, no, we're going to scoot down here. Alice's mom and dad were William and Juliana. So William and Juliana, Alice's mom and dad. And then we're going to go to Adeline. Adeline would be William's mom and dad. Or Adeline and Alex. I guess Adeline is the dad and Alex is the mom. And then we go to the real bloodline. That's pretty impressive. So mom and dad to Alex was Louis VII of France and Adele Champagne. So Louis VII and Adele. And going back another generation, father and mother of Louis VII was Louis VI, the fat king of France, and Adelaide of Maurienne. And so then we've got Philippe, king of France, and we're back about 1000. So we're going to go back a little bit farther than that. So we've got Philippe right here, and Philippe's dad was Henri Capet, and Anne of Russia. So we got a little Ruski blood there. So moving back behind there, we have a pious person, Robert II, Pius Day something or other. I clicked on it. So that's mom and dad to Henri. And then we're going to go to Hugh Capet of France with Adelaide. So mom and dad there. That would be mom and dad to the pious one. And back even farther, we're back into the 890s here. And then we're going to look at Count William Towhead. This would be Adelaide's mom and dad. So Count William Towhead and Emmeline de Normandie, probably from Normandy, I would think. And then we've got, looks like the bastard right here. Not sure if this is the one that we're going to follow along, but let's check it out. It looks like it, yeah. So we're going to go over here to Adele's mom and dad, King Edward and Queen Elfrida of England. So we're back at 871, King Edward and Queen Elfrida. And then I get to King Alfred. So King Edward's dad was King Alfred the Great, and his wife was Ellsworth Mercia. And moving back even farther, we have King Ethelwulf of Wessex. That was King Alfred's mom and dad. And then we've got King Egbert of Wessex and Queen Roberga. Nice name there, from 784 and 788. And then we get to the under kings, it looks like, under King Eldman and Queen Elman of Kent. And then we go to some lords. I think we're on the right line here. Nope, we got to go down here. So, actually, we're going to say that we've got Queen Elman's mom and dad was King Ethelbert of Kent. So it looks like all the royals married all the royals. But from King Ethelbert, his dad was Withred de Kent, and this nice name, Senegith. Name your child that these days and see what happens. But that's the way it was back then. Okay, so then from Senegith, we've got Sexburg d'East and Egbert the First of Kent. And then we've got, actually we need to go back up here. So, Egbert of Kent, and Mrs. Egbert, the Queen of Kent. That's what we need to look at. So this is from 645, 641. And then going back farther, King Eorshaburg of Kent and the Sexburg of East Anglia. Nice place, East Anglia. And then going down the list here, we've got the Queen Emma of Australasia and Eadbald of Kent. Probably a royal name there too. And so moving farther past that, then we've got Arnulf II and Queen Berth. So Queen Berth had some royal blood in her. We have Shlothar the First, Shlothar, I think that's how that's pronounced, and Queen Ingeborg of Paris. So there's the French blood again. So after Queen Ingeborg, Shlothbar's dad and mom were Clotilde of Burgundy, French, and then Clovis the First. So we're already down over here to Clovis the First. And then moving from Clovis the First, make sure we get this line keeping going. Yep, looks like we're going to have Basina, Princess of the Hungarians, or Thuringians. So that's way back when, in 398. And King Childeric the First, and so his mom and dad were Murovich and Closewinth of the Salic Franks. Nice. And then, of course, we have mom and dad to Closewinth, and that's going to be, yeah, we'll go right here. This name here, this name here, and moving on. We've got, look at these French names, Mortimer, and moving farther, Clodius again, and then we'll stay on this line here. We have Auguste Boaz de Breton, probably from Britain, I would think. So notice we're getting into the 200s. Back to some kings. King Titurel ap Manuel, and we've got Manuel right there as well. And then we have the Duchess Antelides. And we're moving back even farther in time, back to 245. Here's some folks along these lines. We'll just kind of follow these lines randomly. Not really sure exactly how they're going to go. But we have Ergen. This looks like it might be German. Jürgen Luflader. And then we have King Lufer, More, Lucius, and Gladys. Yeah, Gladys Knight. See, a long time ago. And moving back down to 170, King Collius of Britain. And this person here from some other country that he probably stole. And going back even farther on this line here, we're going to do Istewaldl's mom and dad, which is prestigious, and a very prestigious woman, and Boadicea. And moving back farther, we're getting down to the lower numbers here. Look at this. And Queen Genesis, Julia. All right. And so we go for this guy, Lydiath and his dad and his mom. Now we're at the BCs. We're at the BCs way back when. And Anna she died, but she was born in the BCs. Then we've got a person named Cornelia. Go down here and we get Marcus Vaspius. Looking like we're getting to some Italian names. Julia Augustus Caesaris from 39 BC. Then we get to the last person on the list, which is Emperor Gaius Octavius. So if anybody wants to know, you are a direct descendant of the Gaius Octavius. So hope you enjoyed that little trip on one line from one person, and there's plenty more where this came from. Have a good day.